My lecture will be on the automation and control, let's say, robotics challenge in the OR. And I decided to have two parts, something which is a bit, let's say, theoretical in a way, and with a few standard robotics definitions, and also what I think are specific issues if you want to develop a robotic system in the OR. And then the second part of my talk will be about case studies of different projects they've been developed here in Strasbourg. So if I've put a few, if you're looking for materials related to this class, I should mention there is a book that just came out about medical robotics, and whose editor is Jocelyne Trocaz in Grenoble, and several chapters have been co-written by researchers here in Strasbourg, and you'll find interesting material at the master student class level. Also, if you're looking for technical research material on robotics in the OR, the main journal papers are the IEEE Transaction Robotics and the Journal of Robotic Research, as well as the IEEE Engineering and Medicine Biology magazine and the Transaction Biomedical Engineering. So there's been several special issues in these journals, and you can pick up and you'll find a good overview of research in the top research team in medical robotics. Also, it's of course on the engineering side and not on the medical side, but every 2 years there's also a summer school in France, in Montpellier, that's very interesting for almost a week for roboticians and dedicated to medical robotics, and I guess that's a nice way also to enter in the field. Otherwise, you can go to the main medical robotics conferences. So first, for my class, I've made a few definition. The class will be dedicated to surgical and medical assistance system. So all robots assist doctors and surgeons, and of course not the other part of the medical robotics field, which is assistive technologies for rehabilitation or disabled people. And another comment I would like to make before starting the class is that medical robots is not just by itself. It's usually a complete system with surgical and medical assistance, with basically acquisition of data, modeling, and usually this is done in a preoperative way, and modeling, planning, simulation, and then only in the interventional parts you end up with having robots that could take part of it, and eventually that's where we find some automation. Of course, if we look at from the technological side, on the preoperative side, you will have all the different devices that can give you access to information, and this will be very important for automation and robotics, where you need, of course, to localize your instrument and robot with respect to what you want to achieve in the OP room. And of course, the pre-processing will be interesting to give you a priori model, a 3D model of the internal organs, to make some planification of trajectory, make simulation. And it's only once you've done this part of the work that you can really go into making intervention and get full use of what a robot can achieve. So now if we look at from automation and robotics, and using the different concepts in robotics, there are not that many tasks that a robot can achieve. Usually, this is if you base your study from what's done in industry and what's done today in medical robotics. The first maybe task, robotics automation task we can find in OP room is what we call registration. Probably you're probably familiar with this concept, where it's localization of the instrument with respect to the patient usually, and with respect also to your preoperative planning. And to do this registration, of course, you need some kind of 3D measurement system intraoperatively. And this can be a simple system or complex ones, as we'll see. Then a second task, robotics task, is positioning. Positioning is basically to put in a specific position in space. When I say space, 3D space, I mean position and orientation, your instrument with respect to the patient. If I go up in the level of complexity, more complex is trajectory tracking. In trajectory tracking, you basically move along a trajectory in space, your instrument, and you move it along with a specific velocity profile. And that's what we call trajectory tracking. Then next step, a specific robotics task that can be used in medical robotics is what we call co-manipulation. Co-manipulation means that the surgeon or the doctor is doing a manual manipulation of the instrument, but the instrument is held or constrained by a robotic device, and basically maybe its position is constrained, or its velocity, or eventually the force you can exert on the instrument. And then what you know probably more, because that's what you see when you see the Da Vinci system, for example, is telemanipulation, where the instruments are going to be telemanipulated by the surgeons but from a distance. Other robotics tasks, but I won't put too much emphasis in this class, are of course exploration, and you had a very interesting talk by Dr. Menciani on this, with this small capsule inside the body, and then simulation, which is also an area where robotics do something. It basically we work on the interface with the virtual environment, so that you can have a very realistic configuration or simulation environment, with eventually some physical feedback, like force feedback on your manipulation in this virtual space. So registration. Basically, I think there are 4 tasks, robotics tasks of interest, if I can divide that way. So registration is probably the best known and most used today in OP rooms. Registration, as I said, is the localization of the instrument with respect to the patient, and with respect also to the preoperative planning. That's the goal, so that you can see where your instruments are in space with respect to what you plan to do, and things that eventually you cannot see from the outside.